Jean-Claude Van Damme's rise from a shy, ridiculed boy in Brussels to one of the most recognizable action stars in the world is a tale of relentless determination, discipline, and transformation. Known worldwide as the Muscles from Brussels, Van Damme's fame is often reduced to his martial arts prowess and signature splits. But the story behind his success is far richer. It is a story of enduring humiliation, confronting inner fears, and channeling pain into physical and emotional strength. Before the movie sets, the applause, and the red carpets, there were years of struggle, isolation, and rejection. From childhood mockery to survival in a foreign land, his journey reveals that every stunt, every punch, and every dramatic split is rooted not just in talent, but in a lifetime of overcoming obstacles and believing in a dream that at times seemed impossible. Early life, confronting shame in Brussels, born Jean-Claude Camille, François van Varenberg in Brussels, Belgium. Van Damme's childhood was far from idyllic. A thin, bespectacled boy, he struggled to fit in, enduring constant teasing at school and feeling painfully visible in his perceived inadequacies. By age 11, the mirror became both a symbol of shame and a space of silent resolve. In that moment, he vowed he would not let the world dictate the story of his life. The ridicule he faced could have broken him, but instead, it ignited an early understanding. Strength and resilience were born from hardship. Every insult and every sneer pushed him toward finding his own power. This formative experience would later become the cornerstone of his discipline, teaching him that being wounded or overlooked is often the first step toward being truly seen in a world that values toughness, confidence, and visibility. Discipline as salvation. Karate and ballet. Van Damme's parents, though not visionary in pushing him toward stardom, instilled in him a respect for order, structure, and routine. His father was an accountant, his mother a florist, and both emphasized the value of commitment. At a young age, he was enrolled in karate, where Master Claude Getz put him through years of intense training. The curriculum was unforgiving, demanding endurance and mental fortitude. By 18, he had earned a black belt and a spot on Belgium's national karate team. Yet karate alone could not transform him into the performer he aspired to be. Van Damme added ballet to his training, embracing an art that required precision, vulnerability, and balance. Ballet broke him physically and mentally, but built a unique body control that became integral to his martial arts performance. The fusion of martial arts and ballet created a machine-like strength paired with elegance, shaping the physical foundation for his future cinematic stunts. The dream is born. A prayer in a church. Around the age of 12, an introspective night drove Van Damme to a quiet church where he whispered 3 wishes: to save the world, protect nature, and become a movie star. This was not mere fantasy, but a deeply personal act of commitment. In that dimly lit space, he translated desperation into clarity, making his dream tangible. This early vision would guide his life, providing both hope and direction through years of struggle. It became the lens through which he understood discipline, rejection, and sacrifice. Every hour at the karate dojo, every painful stretch at the ballet bar, and every moment of humiliation in school reinforced his commitment. The church moment was a turning point, a quiet declaration that he would shape his destiny. The dream of becoming a cinematic star became inseparable from the personal journey of mastering body, mind, and spirit. Arrival in America, surviving the unknown. In 1982, Van Damme arrived in the United States with little more than $3,000, an accent that marked him as foreign, and an unshakable dream. Hollywood was a distant, intimidating constellation, and survival became his first priority. He lived out of a battered car, faced hunger, and took any work available, delivering pizzas, laying floors, driving limousines, and even working as a bouncer at Chuck Norris's bar. Rejection was constant, auditions rarely turned into roles, and phone calls often went unanswered. Yet through it all, he trained relentlessly. Even with an empty stomach, he forced his body into grueling routines, perfecting splits and kicks. Every repetition reinforced the belief that the dream was real, even if the world refused to acknowledge him. Survival became both literal and symbolic. Each day lived, each pain endured, and each rejection faced was a step closer to the visibility and recognition he had vowed to claim as a child in front of a mirror. First breaks, from background roles to recognition. Van Damme's initial foothold in Hollywood was small but significant. In 1984, he appeared briefly in Break-In, a minor role that showcased his agility in fleeting moments. The same year, de Chelsea, he joined the stunt team for Missing in Action, proving his ability to endure pain and perform demanding sequences without flinching. His first named role arrived in 1986's No Retreat, No Surrender, where he played Ivan, a Russian fighter. Though the film was modest in budget and reception, it offered visibility, a crucial shift for a performer long dismissed as weak or simply foreign. These early experiences honed his craft, teaching him the realities of the film industry, the demands of physical performance, and the persistence required to transform endurance into opportunity. What mattered most was that he was no longer invisible. After years of being overlooked, Van Damme began to demonstrate that his discipline and dedication could carve a path to recognition, even in a world that initially ignored him. Bloodsport, the breakthrough. In 1988, Van Damme's life transformed with the release of Bloodsport. Portraying Frank Dux, a fighter in a secret tournament, he delivered a performance that resonated far beyond the martial arts community. The film, made for $1.5 million, became a commercial success, catapulting Van Damme into international recognition. Suddenly, the boy who once stood in front of a mirror, ashamed of his thin frame and accent, was visible to millions. Applause, attention, and admiration validated years of pain, struggle, and solitude. Yet success brought new challenges: the pressure to continue performing, to maintain physical perfection, and to meet the expectations of audiences and producers alike. For Van Damme, being seen was not merely a joy, it was a responsibility that demanded constant effort and endurance. Bloodsport marked the moment when private dreams met public reality, and the world began to witness his extraordinary talent, reinvention, and legacy beyond the screen. Despite personal setbacks, Van Damme's career evolved. He embraced self-awareness, explored new roles, and participated in projects that allowed him to reflect on his journey. Reality shows, cameo appearances, and revisiting iconic characters demonstrated a willingness to adapt while honoring his legacy. His influence on martial arts cinema remains unparalleled, blending physicality, discipline, and charisma in ways few performers have matched. Beyond entertainment, Van Damme's story continues to inspire those who face ridicule, rejection, or obscurity. His life demonstrates that perseverance, belief in oneself, and rigorous self-discipline can transform vulnerability into power. Though battles on screen remain spectacular, the true testament of his career lies in his ability to turn adversity into opportunity and to remain resilient despite both triumphs and setbacks. Conclusion: The Visible Boy. Jean-Claude Van Damme's story is ultimately one of transformation. From a boy mocked and unseen, he became an international symbol of strength, resilience, and artistry. His journey underscores that visibility is not simply about fame, but about endurance, discipline, and the courage to confront personal limitations. Behind the stunts, the action sequences, and the cinematic spectacle lies a man who faced pain, hunger, and rejection, yet refused to surrender. His legacy is not only the muscles from Brussels persona, but also the life lesson that adversity can forge both physical and emotional power. Van Damme reminds the world that the path to being seen begins with the willingness to endure, to believe, and to persist. a narrative as inspiring as any blockbuster he has ever starred in.